My name is Sam, and I've been part of the Danish and Nordic ecosystem for almost 10 years, running something similar to Panathēnea called Tech Barbecue, now with Nordic Angels and a couple of other funds in European ecosystem. As of last week, actually, I joined Plug and Play, but we'll leave that for a next session and next introduction. Welcome on board.
Thanks
for
so
being
fun
here.
To be here. Yeah.
Please do us a favor and make an introduction, and who is Hedda and what's Lassie is about, and we kick that from there.
Yes, so I'm Hedda Baverud Olsson, CEO and co-founder of Lassie. Started Lassie 5 years ago. We do pet insurance, but with a preventive and ecosystem twist. So we are kind of a pet health companion to your pet. This was inspired because my mom is a veterinary, so we wanted you to also avoid all the injuries and get help with having a pet. We're today in 3 markets, 100 million ARR, 100 employees, 1 billion in coverage and premium. So that's kind of short about us and me.
Do we have any pet owners in this room? Yes.
Oh, good.
You see, everybody can actually feel that. So it's
then
like
you know they're your family members and you want them to have a
exactly.
good
If it's
care.
more like a family than anything else, I'm proud of 2 dogs. That for 2 dogs, so I know how it works.
I forgot to raise my hands as well, but obviously I have one as well.
Right. You work in the consultancy firms before,
Yes.
and you decided to do something completely different. Where did you see the gap in the traditional insurances? You thought this is going to be the niche. It requires to have 3 co-founders to start something in the Nordics and scale it to the rest of Europe.
Yeah, so I kind of did business school in Stockholm School of Economics, which is quite a good one. And at that school at that time, if you had good grades, what you were going to do was like investment banking or management consultant. So I ended up working at McKinsey, and then I moved over to the investment side at EQT. But then I kind of checked in with myself as like, did I do these things because it was like cool and good to do these things, or is it really what I'm passionate about? And I felt like now I proved to myself that I could do these things, but it was not really what I wanted to do with my life, and kind of always had a dream of starting my own business. Started to explore a couple of like ideas and industries, and you know how it is, or for me at least, I kind of spent like a week or 2 exploring an idea, and then someone told me, this is difficult, or I found a big struggle with it, and then I kind of gave up. But with the Lassie idea, I kind of, even when people told me like this is going to be difficult, I was like, no, you're wrong. I had like this whole other type of conviction about this idea, and I think that was because there was like 2 important things that checked the mark for me. I had a very personal connection to the problem. Growing up with a mom, I had that unique insight that pet can live a lot healthier if you work with prevention. And number 2, I was really excited about kind of digitalization of a very old school industry. So I think for me, you need to find that inner drive, because not all ideas, like all startup journeys, will have its ups and downs. So you need to have like this very underlying, very internal conviction that you can do it. It can't just be a smart idea on the paper, because however smart it is, it will be difficult.
You nailed this, and for everybody to know, it's been announced yesterday for the last few days as well. You hit 100 million revenue as of how many days ago?
Yeah.
That is incredible, and congratulations.
Thanks.
I can see the growth to become a unicorn founder in a couple of weeks. No pressure,
Couple of weeks. Working on it.
But going back to the market and market expansion, what you're working with, it's very cultural, very geographical dependent, and it very varies between country to country.
Yeah.
One thing you're in 3 countries right now: France,
Germany
and Sweden.
Yeah.
Expanding to the latest country, which one was the latest one? Was
France.
it France? What assumption what assumption broke into the new market you went into, and you thought it would work as well as Sweden or as well as Germany?
Yeah. So what's interesting is there's a lot of kind of discussion now on like Europe is on fire, we're doing really well in Europe, and we are, but what we sometimes forget is Europe is not one country. There's so much differences and cultures and legislations and paperwork to launch in the different markets of Europe. So for us, we launched first in Sweden, which was good because that was the most mature market for pet insurance. So we knew that if we cracked Sweden, we would have a winning concept that would be kind of 10x competition. But when we then decided what net market we were going to go into, given there's quite a lot of localization that was needed, we decided to go for the biggest market first. So that's why we went for Germany as number 2. It was same amount of work to go to Germany as to Denmark, unfortunately. So that's, a lot of people ask me, why didn't you go to the Nordics market first since you started in Sweden? But we wanted bigger opportunities. We only do digital marketing, virality. So for us, if we had all of this kind of one-off work to go into the market, we wanted there to be a big opportunity. But I'm very happy we did that because Germany is also now our biggest market, which is more than 50% of that 100 million in ARR. But that being said, it's not the same recipe in the markets. In Germany, we have to think a lot more about the details, GDPR. There's a lot more kind of people read everything, and even if we pay out 1 cent too much, they will ask about it. They're very detail-oriented. Versus in France, they barely read anything on the sign-up, so you have to like explain them. It's more a discussion about fraud. They need help over the phone. So like the cultures are quite different, and you have to kind of adapt what's working, but then have a local team to fine-tune it. That's at least how we did it. Instead of going to 10 markets at the same time, we go pretty deep and also have a local team to localize it and understand the nuances. Because I think that's what we've seen other companies doing, is that you go into all markets with the same recipe, and it doesn't necessarily fly. You need to localize it.
For you to know, if you don't know, in Germany you need to pay tax for your pet as well. So you need to, as long as you own something, living aside you in the home, you need to pay tax as well for any dogs or cat you own in Germany. I don't know if you know. Side note. On our call, like intro call, you mentioned 60% of your claims handled by. Let's tap into AI, which is very interesting and a hot topic, just for us to have a narrative here. 60% of your claims handled by AI agents.
Yeah.
What does that mean for a customer? Like, what's the difference between AI agent and the individual who's been reading the claims?
Yeah. So we always had the plan that we were gonna automate a lot of claims handling, because it's really when you file a claim and you see that process working that you know if your pet insurance is good enough. So we always wanted that process to be very fast. Luckily, when we were about to kind of launch or automate this, then the new LLM models launched. So instead of having to hire a lot of machine learning experts that we planned to, our existing developers could work very easily with the existing tools. And that's such a win, because for us, the people filing the claim, they can go to the vet, take a photo of the bill, and 6 minutes after, the money is back on their accounts. And I mean, especially in Germany, like people are even asking us, was there a mistake? I already have the money back. Like, did someone how did this happen? So it's such a win for us in terms of like marketing, virality, but also for us in efficiency. We only have 100 employees. Very proud of this kind of 1 million revenue per employee metrics, and that's also thanks to automating a lot of kind of admin things. For our claims handler, we still need some, because some claims can be really big. They can focus on the more kind of sophisticated work instead of the very repetitive and more easier things. So that's why we built this AI agent in-house to control it and develop it, and both to delight customers, but also to be very kind of lean operationally and motivate our employees to be able to work on the more interesting cases.
She dropped something in very smoothly, if you notice. 1 million per employee revenue. Like Lassie has 100 employees, and each employee generates 1 million revenue. Quite significant. What the team does differently from the traditional organization, and I know as AI probably has been implemented, what else are you guys doing differently?
So we always been a fan of having the right people and maybe more senior people, good individual contributors, than just hiring lots and lots of people. I think a while back when we started 2022, 2021, it was very trendy to be able to say that you had a big team. And we never thought that was cool. So we were like, let's just set this up in a very... As soon as we ran into problems that we felt were very admin heavy, we were like, is there a way to automate this? So instead of throwing people on the problem, trying to automate it and trying to find the root cause of it. So we always found that we're faster if we don't build up too much hierarchies or processes. So we always wanted to keep a very lean team. So that's always been with our DNA, but now it's even easier because all of the new LLM models and all the new tools to automate even more. And that being said, we're not going to replace our people. They can just do more work with the same amount of people instead.
We're not as scared of human replacement anymore. In recent years, actually, I've seen two Time magazine coverage. One was with AI being a new era of opportunities. The other one was AI risking humanity. Where do you see this going on, like in the space you work in insurances? And you said that you're not worried about your employees' replacement in the future. Efficiency is the key. But where do you see the cross in risking the humanity with AI and everything else?
Yeah. So for me, I see it a little bit like we had the .com boomer. Like everyone was like, "Oh, now internet is coming." It wasn't on my time, but like I heard the stories. And people were like, oh, how's this going to... So it's definitely going to change businesses, but it's so exciting, but it's just a new reality, and we're going to be so more efficient. Like, imagine what we couldn't do in the 80s and 90s, what we then could do with internet. I think it's a similar journey now with AI and new opportunities, so it's just a shift. But then I think, of course, you always need some guardrails in place for it to not take over humanity, but I'm super excited. I think if we have these guardrails in place, but I think Europe should be careful on putting too much in place, because then we will not be competitive to other markets like
yeah,
US.
We're going to get to European sovereignty soon as well. But going back to AI and 60% of your claim being handled by AI agents, are you aiming for 100%? We talked about it, it's very cultural again, very market dependent.
Yeah.
But that leads to a biggest problem we all have with AI, but let's start with that.
So today, we don't have our own balance sheet, so we are regulated that we have to work with other insurance carriers. So today, it's a negotiation with all of them, what amounts can we automate? So for example, now they say, if you have a very, very big claim, it could be 10K, 15K euros, we want the human to take a look at it because it's so big claims. But what we do now is we prepare everything with AI. So we have this is how AI would solve it. Can a human just take a look at it and approve it? So I think there's always probably, we of course want to go as high as possible. We always work with our error margins. Today they are kind of under 2%, which is better than humans. Wow. But I also understand that they worry that they want to see our error margins, our data develop before they feel safe on AI taking over 100% of it. But I think 100% will be AI assisted, but there will probably be a time where the largest claims, we also have some liability claims, and that could be millions. That I think we also want a human to take a look. It could be very damaging for our financial results if there was a mistake. You can't come to customers and want that money back, right, if you paid it out mistakenly.
That's very true.
So probably not 100% in the near future, but close to.
The biggest problem I've seen in recent years, from corporates to enterprises to us as an individual, we have with using AI and implementation of AI has been trust.
Yes.
Expected a number for cyber threats and data breaches, it's 24 trillion by 2027, next year. How are you planning to protect? If we go now 60%, if we reach the 100% AI agent claims, how are you planning to protect the customer data, the company data, if, there is a dependency on human eyes still? How are you planning to kind of make sure there is no data breach across both client side and and also your employee side if it's 100% data set
very good
by
question.
AI
That's also
agents?
why we decided we are building this ourselves with our own tools to better control it, and we always have kind of manual checks on error margins. So I think you need to be careful what's happening. But that's also the good thing about working with pets. It's not super sensitive data, a vet bill. It would be more sensitive if it was a human healthcare bill. The vet bills and the pets, it's not the same regulations, it's not the same sensitiveness. If you've had a surgery for a pet, it's not the same level of data sensitivity, which is also good for us. But of course, we think about it, our customers, especially in Germany, are very protected about their own data, even their addresses. But we use tools to kind of anonymize it in some certain processes, so it will not be uploaded into the big models.
Where do you see, let's go back to AI, and where do you see the future of AI affecting health, pet, and also longevity in that space? Is that something you also, preventative insurance, is it something you're going to look at as well?
So that's super interesting. Right now, we've spent most of our time on AI working on the claims agents, because that's been such a good use case. But what we're starting to work with even more is this preventative angle. Today we have an app which will do everything from recommend you to when it's time for vaccinations, to how much your dog or cat should exercise each day, if it's overweight, and so forth. And today it's created with vets, but there's such an opportunity to make that app and that journey even more personalized, based on also integrating the claims data, the history, to make it even more personalized. Today it's kind of more based on what age is it, what breed is it, but then I think we can also integrate all of the history, kind of AI, chatbot for vet care, so you don't even need to go to the vet sometimes. You can actually just upload an image or a video of your pet and get help via the app. So that's super interesting. But then I think that's also something that's a little bit sensitive. You don't want an AI vet chat if it gives the wrong advice, because then we could be liable for, you said it was fine to not go to the vet, so we stayed at home, and now my pet got really bad. So you need to set up guardrails that if you are uncertain, always recommend them to go to the vet anyway. So you have to have some cases, you have to set some guardrails in place.
For pet owners, this is going to be quite a breakthrough if it comes in, and we all need that, because I think human health has been in a very focused area for all of us, but I think pets also play a massive
I think
role
it's
in
the
that
same. I mean, pets is the same method. We all know that if we all track, how we sleep, how we train, how we eat, we know that we will live a longer and better life if we work preventively and work healthier. It's the same for pets, but they're 5 or 10 years after us. So we just want to fast forward the pet's health as well.
Hedda, actually, you raised, this is a very interesting fact, you raised the biggest round in Sweden led by a female founder.
In Sweden? In
Sweden.
Yeah, not in
That's quite an interesting fact. The biggest round led by a female founder in Sweden.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, thank you. Did you do... That was part of the celebration. What does this mean? Did you do anything differently for female founders in the room to know?
I actually wrote a LinkedIn post about this because it's twofold. In one way, I'm super proud. It's wow, it's the biggest round, and it makes me proud that we did that. But in one way, it also makes me a bit sad, because it's by far not the biggest round in Sweden. So the gap shouldn't be that big. I don't even want this. It's 75 million USD. Sure, it's big, but there's so many rounds in Sweden right now that are bigger. So I'm also a bit sad that this is the record, and I want people to beat this record this year. So it's very twofold, I would say.
Thank you so much, Hedda, and everybody listening in. We are going to celebrate her success and the company's success, becoming a unicorn founder, another Swedish unicorn founder, female Swedish unicorn founder, next time we are in Panathēnea.
Yes.
Thank you.